We have had the opportunity to travel from the state of Odisha, West Bengal by discussing Jayadeva Kavi of Gita Govindam. Then we moved further south to understand Annamaya's contribution, Annamacharya's contribution from the land of the Telugus, Andhra and Telangana Desham. Then we went further to the Pitamaha of Karnataka Sangeetam. He is referred to as the Pitamaha, as rather than saying the person who invented, one of the persons who formalized Karnataka Sangeetam. So if today a student is learning and understanding Karnataka Sangeetam, the basic system was laid by Swami Purandaradasa from the land of Karnataka in the language Kannada. So this being on one side, there was another major reformer Vageyakara and a Siddhantavadi. He was also a philosopher. Again, we come back to the language of Sanskritam. He lived largely in the state of Tamil Nadu and his name was Narayana Tirtha. So to arrive at his time period, there are a few statements that help us. In the commentary to Adi Shankara's Brahmasutra Bhashyam called Subodhini, Narayana Tirtha mentions of Ramananda's Ratnaprabha. So Ramananda and his time period is fixed around the first half of the 17th century. Next, in Parijata Haranam, a musical drama, Narayana Tirtha worships Achyutapura Nivasa Varadaraja Prabho, a village called Achyutapuram, which was constructed by the king Achyutappa Nayaka in the 16th century. So he must have come after 16th century, Narayana Tirtha, to praise that temple. In the Panchakosha Manjari written in the 18th century, the author, who belonged to the Maratha region, mentions of Narayana Tirtha. And hence, with all these statements above, before and after him, he is said to be a poet, a Vageyakara and a Siddhantavadi between the 1650 and the 1750 AD. He is said to have belonged to a Telugu family that settled in the Andhra region around Mangalagiri, and later, due to some political invasions at that point in time, their family moved further south. He was enlightened by his acharya called as Shivarama Tirtha. He mentions of Shivarama Tirtha as Guru. Vedabhaga Vicharajata Matipriya Pranayena Varnitam Shivarama Tirtha Padambujena Brahmarena. So he mentions of his Guru Shivarama Tirtha and his Krishna Bhakti. Narayana Tirtha's Krishna Bhakti knew no new bounds. Since his Krishna Bhakti was at its pinnacle, he came forth with the essence of Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam in the form of Krishna Leela Tarangini. So for every important incident, he comes up with a shlokam and then a tarangam, a kirtana, with a few or many charanams. So right from Krishna being born, Tamadbhutam Balakam Ambujekshanam Chaturbhujam Shankhagadar Srivatsalakshmam Galashobi Kaustubam Pitambaram Sandrapayodi Saubhagam Maharha Vaidure Kirita Kundala Tvisha Parishvakta Sahastra Kuntalam. As Krishna was born inside the Karagriham to Devaki and Vasudeva, how he was shifted in a fruit basket in the time when it was raining in the middle of the night, with the Adisesha who became the umbrella, and Yamuna river parting, giving way, and then him reaching there, Vasudeva reaching there, exchanging, swapping the babies, bringing the girl child back, she becoming Durga. And finally, Krishna having killed Putana, killing Shakatasura, doing Navanita Chauryam, Ulukala Bandhanam, Govardhanodharanam, Kalinga Nardhanam. And all of these incidents that have been mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam has been put forth in a musical form, in the form of a tarangam by Narayana Tirtha. In one of the tarangams, the Gopastri requests Krishna to protect the entire world. So she says, you are my Lord. You are my Lord. Like how you are protecting me, you must protect this entire world. Madhava Mamavadeva Krishna Yadava Krishna Yadukula Krishna. The one who belongs to Yadukulam, hey Krishna, protect this entire world. Gopastri seeks for the welfare of this entire world. So you will now listen to this composition being rendered by two Carnatic musicians, the Guru and the Sishya together, who have sung this composition. Case of Karnataka Sangeetam, like how we have discussed Annamacharya, Purandaradasa, Jayadeva, Narayana Tirtha, we are going to come to another golden period of Karnataka Sangeetam. They are called as Sangeeta Mummurti. Three important people who further systemized this Karnataka Sangeetam. The eldest of them was Shyama Shastri, followed by Thyagaraja, and third was Muthuswami Dikshitar. All three of them were born in an important Shiva Kshetram called as Mooladhara Kshetram. In Tamil language it is called Tiruvarur. Mooladhara Kshetra Sthitam, says Muthuswami Dikshitar. And in this Kshetram, all three of them were born, of course, in different time periods. Shyama Shastri had great inclination to the presiding deity of Tanjavur. After having been born in Tiruvarur, Mooladhara Kshetram, he went to Tanjavur, which is called Tanjore of the British times. There he went and settled, and he had great attachment to the presiding deity in Tanjavur called as Bangaru Kamakshi. And all his compositions, or probably a large part of his compositions, propitiate this deity. He had a mudra. So all these Vagekaras, these composers, had a mudra, a signature. Probably they were worried that we will copyright them. So they had a mudra. So he used the mudra Shyama Krishna, the dark-hued Krishna. So since his compositions were largely venerating goddess Parvati, Shyama Krishna, the mudra that was deployed by Shyama Shastri, was very, very prudent, because he could bring forth the relationship between Parvati and Vishnu, which is that of a brother and sister. Shyama Krishna Sodari, he would state. So many compositions of Shyama Shastri have been revered by students of classical Carnatic music as the very trendsetters. Amongst them are Swarajatis, of course. He also had a very, very high or probably deep knowledge of Talam. It is said that he was challenged in many courts, including the court of Tanjavur when the Maratha rulers were ruling. And he is said to have won over many scholars in his Talagyanam. So, for example, Saroja Dala Netri Himagiri Putri. Such compositions have been popularized by stalwarts in many concerts. We will now take up one composition where he venerates goddess Kamakshi, whose eyes are laden with love and affection for her children. That goddess, who is venerated through this composition, which is a Swarajati in the Ragam Bhairavi, which is being performed by a renowned dancer on the screen.
త్రిపురా విభువదన మాయమ్మ కంబుగల నీರದ త్రిపురా విభువదన మాయమ్మ పగరి గమ పారమగరి సని గరి గమ పగని పామగరి భకుచ మదమత జగమ భవహరి శంభును పద శంకరి చింతల వేగ తీర్థమాయి పుడుగా మాపని రమా పద పమగరి రామ పద పామగరి గమ పాదని సాని రామగరి భక్త జన కల్పలతికా కరుణాలయ సదయ గిరి కనయ రాఘవే శరణాగతుడు దర రామ సముసేయ కవరము సదుగా పమగరి గమ పమగరి గమగరి గమగరి సా పమగరి సా పమగరి సా వాచకములను తీర్చి పద భక్తి సంపద నీయవే పావని గదా మొరవినదా పారకేల నన్న వినుమగా పని పమగరి గమ పద మగ పమగరి గమగా గమగరి సని సరి సా సరి గమగరి కలుషహారిణి సదానత ఫలదాయకియని విరుదు భూమిలో గలిగిన దొరయము వేదవిడగవినిక సాని పమగరి సా నీరని సరి గమ పమగరి సరి గమ పరి గమ పద పగరి గమ పమ పదని సా పదని సరి గమగరి సని పగరి పవన నిలయాసుర సముదయ కర విముఖ కువలయ మద तदनुजवारण मृगेन्द्रार्चित कलुषदहन घना अपरिमित वैभव मुगलनी स्मरण मदिलो दलचिन जनादुलकु बहु संपदलनी चेरि कुडुमा कभयनी शिव शंकरी परमेश्वरी श्याम कृष्ण सहोदरी शिव शंकरी परमेश्वरी हरिहरादुलकु श्रीमहिमलु कनिंकरमा कुतुरम्मा नमुले नाना पैरे श्री भैरविका పాదముల దిట్టను సులంగిని శ్రీకంఠిత
Followed by Shyama Shastri came the jewel of Karnataka Sangeetam, Saint Thyagaraja, who is often referred to as Thyaga Brahmam. Thyagaraja was born in Tiruvarur and later settled in Panchanadi Kshetram called as Tiruvayyaru in Tamil Nadu. His compositions are again in Telugu like Annamacharya, Bhadrachala Ramadas or even Shyama Shastri. Thyagaraja's Ishtadevata was Lord Sri Ramachandra. So he invokes in one of the compositions and says, proclaims to the world, Seetamma Mayamma Sri Ramudu Maku Tandri. So if you ask who my parents are, I will proudly say Sita of Srimad Rāmāyana is my mother. Lord Sri Rama, the protagonist of Srimad Rāmāyana, is my father. Sri Seetamma Mayamma Sri Ramudu Maku Tandri Seetamma Mayamma. Sita is my mother, he says. He had the first marriage which lasted for a very short period of time, is what most accounts say, that his first wife was dead and then he married his dead wife's sister, and they had a daughter called Sita Lakshmi, and they also had a son, and he lived in a joint family with his elder brother. His elder brother was not in approval of the intense bhakti that Thyagaraja showcased, so much so that there was a partition in the house, is what some accounts say. So all these come from a lot of hearsay. So there is no one particular biography that was written during his period. It is much later that the students gathered bits and pieces of his life history. They say that at one point in time the brother was so frustrated with Thyagaraja's intense devotion and acting like a lunatic that he threw the vigrahas which were in the worship of Thyagaraja, of Lord Sri Rama, into the flowing waters of Kaveri. Thyagaraja was immensely depressed, and at one point in time the Lord guided him in the mid of the night in the dream to pick up the vigrahas which were drowned into the waters of Kaveri and which were caught in the sands. So Thyagaraja's life also has one interesting element where, because of his repertoire, his immense knowledge, the king of Tanjavur, the Maratha king, had invited him to the court, because in those days it was customary for the kings to have poets, musicians in their courts. They were patronizing arts, culture, but at the same time many kings would ask the poets to sing praises about them. They were well paid, so many poets would sing. But Thyagaraja outright declined this invite and said that I do not require the wealth that shall be bestowed upon me by me singing praises about the king. I want only the wealth that is always eternal in nature, which is Rama Bhakti Nidhi. He says, Dadhina Vanita Kshiramulu Sukhama. Because I sing praises of the king, I may get the best of the cows, which will give me thick milk that will get converted into thick curds, and then I'll have ghee. Dadhina Vanita Kshiramulu Sukhama Dasharathi Dhyana Bhajana Sudhara Samu Sukhama. Or will I prefer this wealth where I sing about the son of Dasharatha, who's Dasharathi Rama, and thereby attain bliss? Will that wealth give me more happiness, or this wealth? Nidhi chala sukhama. He concludes that he will not go to the court of the Sarfoji Maharaja. In his lifetime, he is said to have composed thousands of kritis. Though we may not have all the 1,000 kritis now with us, we just have hundreds of kritis which have been tuned, largely notated by himself, who is Thyagaraja, and have been sung religiously by many scholars and musicians in the last 200 years. When I say 200, it's 150 plus years. On the day of Bahula Panchami, he is said to have, the Atma is said to have left the Pancha Bhautika Shariram, the mortal remains, and to commemorate this particular day of this great saint composer, the set of 5 kritis called as Ghanapanchaka Raga kritis, Pancharatna kritis, beginning with Nattai, Jagadada Nandakaraka, continued with Duduku Gala in the Ragam Gaula. Then we have Sadhinchane in the Ragam Arabhi, Kanakana Ruchira in the Ragam Varali, and Yendaro Mahanubhavulu in the Ragam Shri, which are sung by devotee musicians in a big group together, seated on the sands on either sides of river Kaveri. It's an annual ritual. So you will now see a clipping, a very small bit, as to how stalwarts get together and render these kritis.
Jai Bhārata
The next of the Vageyakaras who contributed to the Karnataka Sangeetam system is Muthuswami Dikshitar, the youngest in the Trinity. He was induced into Sri Vidya Upasana. Sri Vidya Upasana is a special form of worship to the mother deity in the theology of Shaktism, Shaktam. So on his journey to Varanasi or Kashi, as how it is called today, he was induced into Sri Vidya Upasana, and he was also blessed with a veena often referred to as Rudra Veena, and his compositions, most of them are in terse Sanskritam. He was known to be an encyclopedia composer because he would give a lot of geographical, ritualistic, philosophical and Puranic details of that deity. So there have been individual compositions and group compositions. So for example, he uses Vibhakti. Vibhakti is declensions in the Sanskritam language. Rama, then Rama becomes the object, then of Rama, by Rama, for Rama. So that is denoted by Ramaha, Ramam, Ramasya, Ramena, and so on. So he has constructed Rama Vibhakti Kritis. Shri Ramachandro Rakshatu Mam. This is Prathama Vibhakti. Ramachandram Bhavayami. This is Dvitiya Vibhakti. Ramachandrasya Dasoham. This is another Vibhakti. So he has deployed Vibhakti as one of the styles in his compositions. Similarly, he has grouped Pancha Bhuta Linga Kritis. For example, the lingam which is associated of Lord Shiva with Jalam, water, is that of Jambukeshwaram, which is Thiruvanekkaval in Tamil Nadu. That with fire is Arunachala of Thiruvannamalai in the Ragam Saranga. Then he has deployed Sri Kalahasti for Vayu, then Ekambareshwara for Prithvi Lingam, then Akasha Tattvam for the Lord of Chidambaram. Besides this, he is also known for his Varakritis, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, each Graha rules, right? So Surya Murte in the Ragam Saurashtram for Surya, Chandram Bhajamanasa in the Ragam Asaveri for Monday, for moon, Angarakamashrayamyaham in the Ragam Shuruti for Tuesday, Mangalavaram, for Mars, then Budhamashrayami, Brihaspate Tarapate, Shri Shukra Bhagavantam, and Divakara Tanujam. So these are called Varakritis. And very famous amongst his group kritis are Kamalamba Navavarna Kritis, where being a Sri Vidya Upasaka himself, he deploys the structure of Sri Chakram, giving importance to the chakra or the avarana and the presiding deity of that particular avarana, and how it takes one through the Kundalini path to the Agnya Chakram. So that is called Kamalamba Navavarana Kritis. During his lifetime, he is said to have performed a lot of divine activities as well. For example, while he was traveling by a village that had experienced immense drought, he invokes the goddess through a ragam called Amrita Varshini, which brings rain to the particular territory. So he sings Ananda Amruta Karshini Amruta Varshini Ananda Amruta Karshini Amruta Varshini Bhavani Amruta Varshini Shive Bhavani Amruta Varshini Pujite Shive Bhavani Amruta Varshini Haradi Pujite Shive Bhavani Nanda Amruta Karshini. So, and then there were copious rains in the village, bringing a lot of happiness to the villagers, is what an account says. While he was very rich in knowledge and literature, his family experienced extreme poverty, and to eradicate the poverty, he is said to have sung a composition on Sri Mahalakshmi, and it is said that immediately they received a lot of gifts in the form of dhanam and dhanyam from the king close by. So many such incidents dominate his life, and it is said, interestingly, that while he was invoking the grace of Meenakshi, the presiding deity of Madurai, while his students were recording his compositions, he is said to have said that you must sing the line composition Meenakshi Memudam Dehi. And while the students were religiously singing this composition, in that particular line which says that the goddess will take the Jivatma out of the Panchabhautika Shariram through her rope, which acts to pull the Jivatma, it is called Pasha. So while they were singing Meena Lochani Pashamochani Manini Kadamba Banavasini Mi Nakshi, while they were singing Pashamochani, it is said that the Jivatma departed from his body. So you will now listen to a very interesting Kriti. I wouldn't say a lesser known, but probably a lesser sung Kriti. It is on the presiding deity of Tiruvarur or Mooladhara Kshetram, Lord Shiva, called as Thyagaraja Swami. This composition will seem like a Pascal's triangle. I'll tell you how. Thyagaraja Yoga Vaibhavam Agaraja Yoga Vaibhavam Raja Yoga Vaibhavam Yoga Vaibhavam Vaibhavam Bhavam Vam. So it's one single line. Thyagaraja Yoga Vaibhavam. So when it is being sung, it will be distributed into parts, and every part, how much ever you reduce, will still make meaning. Thyagaraja Yoga Vaibhavam, Agaraja Yoga Vaibhavam, Raja Yoga Vaibhavam, Yoga Vaibhavam, Vaibhavam, Bhavam, Vam. So you get 7 levels. There were a few composers before, but he popularized the intelligent usage of the raga in the Kriti itself. Dasha Gamaka Kriye, the ragam is Gamaka Kriya, which later is called as Purvi Kalyani. Then in a Kriti he says Ma Gha Ma Sotsava Magha Masa Utsava Vaibhava. While describing the deity of Mannargudi, who is Krishna, he says Magha Masa Utsava Vaibhava, Magha Masotsava Vaibhava. But if you split it in a certain way, you get it as Ma Ga Mas Kamas. The ragam is Kamas. Few other kritis most of his kritis will have the ragam. For example, Matangavadanari Guru Guha Janani Nalini Mandasmita Mahadeva Manolasini Nalini Matangi Rama Manohari. So the ragam is Rama Manohari. Many kritis he has deployed the ragas. So his usage of the ragas, the way he deploys the ragas, the way he brings forth the information has always caused a pleasant surprise and astonishment in many music lovers. While we have spoken about Sanskritam, which was largely used by Jayadeva Kavi, Narayana Tirtha, Kannada by Kanakadasa and later earlier Purandaradasa, Telugu by Bhadrachala Ramadas, Annamacharya, Kshetraya, who gave us padams and javalis, largely padams, and we had Tamil poets who contributed immensely to the Karnataka Sangeetam, like Arunachala Kavi's Ramanatakam, Muttuttandavar, Marimutta Pillai, Gopala Krishna Bharati, and Subramanya Bharati, and many more. This music system also used the bhajan form of music. Bhajan is when the music isn't that intense. When I say intense, the technicalities are not that deep, where even commoners can be engaged. It was very important at one point in time due to invasions that music had to engage the commoners. That is when Mirabai, who lived in the north of India, in the region of Rajasthan, her devotion to Lord Krishna brings a big transformation to the Sangeeta system. Her bhajans have a huge influence amongst the commoners, where its influence is even felt in the south of India. So her bhajans have the mudra Giridhara Gopal. More to Giridhara Gopal, दूसरो न कोई मोरे तो. So she keeps telling in her compositions that the only person who can be my consort, my companion, my friend, my everything is Lord Krishna. So her devotion to Lord Krishna of Dwaraka, of Nathadwar, of Kankaruli Dwaraka is well known. Though she was married and given to a very royal family in those days, she did not want to lead a marital life. And true to her belief as well, she was banished from the very family and kingdom, and she went wandering as a nomad in the forests, and then she managed to go to Brindavan, Gokulam, the way it is called, Brindavanam, Govardhanam, and finally it is said that she went to Dwaraka, where her Jivatma left the mortal remains. So one of her famous compositions, which interestingly is on Rama Mantra, is Payo ji maine Ram Ratan Dhan Payo, Payo ji maine Ram Ratan. So she tells, for me the gems that I have bequeathed from my ancestors is not important. What mantram that I have got as Ramanama Mantram, Taraka Mantram is more important. So there is a legend that says that she had certain doubts that she got cleared from Tulsidas, who wrote a letter to her. Historically, we don't know whether the dates will tally of Tulsidas and Mirabai, but still she was one of the rising stars of the Bhakti Samrajyam. Along with her was a blind poet called as Surdas, whose bhajans like He Govind, He Gopal, He Govind, He Gopal. So these bhajans of Surdas are also equally popular amongst the commoners in the north and in the south. While we have discussed all these languages, in the Malayalam language we have Iriyaman Thambi, who was an erstwhile minister during the times of the king of Travancore, and later also continued during the times of Swati Tirunal, who sang many compositions in Malayalam. And Swati Tirunal, a celebrated king, also a composer in many languages. He has sung in Tamil, Malayalam, Sanskritam, Telugu, and Hindi, and so on. One set of composers who arose in different periods of time but gave an entire boost to Bhakti and Sangeetam were the devotees of Maharashtra who gave abhangs in Marathi. Namdev, who is a very, very venerated devotee, bhakta in the abhang parivar, gave beautiful abhangs which were drenched in bhakti. Of course, there is a much celebrated poet, devotee, bhakta called Tukaram who came much later. Each of them who contributed to the abhangs. It was just not Namdev or Tukaram. We had Eknath, we had Jnandev. So all of them contributed to the bhakti abhangs. So in one of the abhangs compositions, Namdev states, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala. So Vithala, who is the presiding deity of Pandharpur, which is called as Pundalika Kshetram, becomes the subject of most abhangs. So he says, Tirtha Vithala, if there is a place where one can go and get absolved the sins, it is Vithala Kshetram, Pandharpur, and the Lord is the Tirtha. Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala. He is the Kshetram for me. Deva Vithala, he is the Lord to me. Deva Puja Vithala. If I just see him, that itself completes my Aradhanam for that Lord. Mata Vithala, he is my very mother. Pita Vithala. Simple compositions. See, these compositions were the forerunners in bringing a renaissance in the devotees. Bandhu Vithala, he is my friend. Gotra Vithala, he is my lineage, my family. Guru Vithala, he is my Acharya Varya, preceptor. Guru Devata Vithala, the Aradhya Devata for an Acharya is also him. Nidhana Vithala, Nirantara Vithala, Namamane Maja Vithala, Sampadla, Mane Hama Noni, Kalikala Padanahi. So with his grace, even in this Kali Yuga, if they say that there are sins and there is only calamity, nothing will touch me because he is always there. So the devotion, the confidence that they had in the Lord of Pandharpur was unshakable.
Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala. Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, 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 Tirtha Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala. Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Deva Vithala, Deva Puja Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, Kshetra Vithala, Tirtha Vithala, क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल माता विठ्ठल पिता विठ्ठल माता विठ्ठल विठ्ठल माता 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 विठ्ठल पिता विठ्ठल माता विठ्ठल पिता विठ्ठल बंधु विठ्ठल विठ्ठल बंधु विठ्ठल गोत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल देव विठ्ठल देव पूजा विठ्ठल विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल गुरु विठ्ठल 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 गुरु विठ्ठल गुरुदेवता विठ्ठल गुरु विठ्ठल गुरुदेवता विठ्ठल गुरु विठ्ठल गुरु विठ्ठल गुरुदेवता विठ्ठल गुरु विठ्ठल गुरुदेवता विठ्ठल गुरु विठ्ठल गुरु विठ्ठल गुरुदेवता विठ्ठल गुरु विठ्ठल गुरुदेवता विठ्ठल 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 गुरु विठ्ठल गुरु विठ्ठल गुरुदेवता विठ्ठल निधान विठ्ठल निरंतर विठ्ठल निधान विठ्ठल निरंतर विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र 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 विठ्ठल देव विठ्ठल देव पूजा विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल नाम म्हणे माझ विठ्ठल सापडला नाम म्हणे माझ नाम म्हणे माझ नाम ನಮಮನೆ ಮದ ನಮಮನೆ ಮದ ವಿಠಲ ಸಾಪಡಲ ನಾಮ 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 ನಮ ಮಣೆ ಮದ ನಾಮ ಮಣೆ ಮದ ನಮ ಮಣೆ ಮದ ನಮ ಮಣೆ ಮದ ನಾಮ ಮಣೆ ಮದ ನಮ ಮಣೆ ಮದ ನಮ ಮಣೆ ಮದ ನಮ Nama 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 Mane Mana Nama Mane Mada Vithala Sapadala Nama Mane Mada Vithala Sapadala ನಮ ಮನೆ ಮದ ವಿಠಲ ತಪಡಲ ಮಣುನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ ಮಣೋನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ ಮಣೋನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ ಮಣೋನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ ಮಣೋನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ ಮಣೋನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ ಮಣೋನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ 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 ಮಣೋನಿ ಮಣೋನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ ಮಣೋನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ 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 ಮಣೋನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ ಮಣೋನಿ ಕಳಿಕಾಳ म्हणून कळकाळा म्हणून कळकाळा पाड नाही पाड नाही पाड नाही तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल 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 तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल 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 तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल देव विठ्ठल देव पूजा विठ्ठल तीर्थ विठ्ठल क्षेत्र विठ्ठल.
So be it the Abhang Parivar of Maharashtra in Marathi, Narsim Mehta in Gujarati of Gujarat, Surdas and Mirabai and Tulsidas in the north, Jayadeva Kavi in the Kalinga Desham and Angadesham, or Annamacharya, Kshetraya, Bhadrachala Ramadas of the Andhra Desham, Purandaradasa, Kanakadasa, Vijaya Vitthaladasa of Karnataka Desham, Iriyamantambi Swati Tirunal of Kerala Pradesham, or Muthutandavar Marimutta Pillai Thyagaraja Swami Muthuswami Dikshitar, Shyama Shastri, Narayana Tirthar, Gopala Krishna Bharati, Arunachala Kavi of the Dramida Desham, which is Tamil Nadu, all of them in one way or the other contributed to the Raga Lakshanam, to the Tala Lakshanam, to the Sahitya Bhavam, to the entire music aspect of Prachina Bharatiya Karnataka Sangeeta Paddhati.